Hello, everyone. Good evening from Kuwait. Thank you so much for being here in this webinar. And also, I want to thank Professor Hafez Abdo for accepting my invitation. Thank you, Professor Hafez. And also, I want to thank all the audience that coming from all over the world to join us in this useful and interesting webinar. This is Dr. Ahmed Al-Kattan, the founder of ITAR. Our guest today will talk about the subject in your research career developmental pathway, Professor Hafez Abdo. Let me talk briefly about Professor Hafez Abdo. Professor Hafez Abdo is an associate professor in accounting at the University of Nottingham. He has held a previous position of a professor of accounting at Sheffield Hallam University, associate professor at Nottingham Trent University, and the University of Sheffield. Hafez is associate editor of Journal of Applied Accounting Research and Journal of Financial Reporting and Accounting. His research focused on accounting and taxation of the extraction industries, with a special focus on the oil and gas industry. Hafez's research appears in leading journals, including Accounting Forum, Australian Accounting Review, Journal of Cleaner Production, Journal of Accounting in Emerging Economics, Energy Policy, Renewable Energy, and Applied Energy. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation, Professor Abdo, and the floor is yours. Before you start, Professor, just I want to note, today our guest will talk or present 45 minutes, and then we'll open the question just for 15 minutes. So if you have any question, please prepare it or write it down, so the professor can answer your question. Please, Doctor, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, colleagues. I'm very pleased to be with you this afternoon, and thank you for registering for this webinar. I'm going to share my slides now. Hoping technology is going to help us. Right. I'm guessing you can't see my slides. Right.
Yes, Professor. That's clear.
Sure. Okay, thank you. So this afternoon, as Dr. Ahmed said, I'm going to talk about your research career and developmental pathway. This session is mainly designed for doctorate students, early career researchers, and mid-career researchers as well. And I'm pleased to know there are some senior colleagues attending the webinar this afternoon, so they can make inputs into the talk. Right, to start with, these are the contents. I'm not going to, just for the sake of time, not going to read through them. We'll cover them hopefully one by one. So to start with, we know we do our PhD to get a doctorate, and then most of us try to get into academia, to be lecturers. And I always differentiate between a teacher and a lecturer. A teacher is there to teach, and that's it. This is his or her career. A lecturer is a researcher as well, and a manager. So teaching, research, management, consultancy, etc. So this session is mainly directed at those who are interested in research. So in order to develop our career as researchers, what we need to think of is the number of issues. How to build our experience, expertise, skills, and knowledge, and also how to direct them. where we want to go in the future and what do we want to be in a number of years' time. So it's always said to be seen in the right way, you need to show the right stuff to the right people. And that's very important for our developmental in terms of career enhancement and promotions. So the traditional academic development for doctorate holders is it starts with doctorate student. Many doctorate students start teaching as associate lecturers, and then the doctorate students always wanted, if they want to be academics, they always try to be known as lecturers. They want to apply for lectureship positions here or there. And then lecturers, when they are lecturers, they try to enhance their career by being promoted to senior lecturers, and then reader or associate professor, and then professors. And we know professors can be in more than one type. So 1, 2, 3, or ABC as different universities classify. So that's the normal journey. However, if if there ever was a simple career ladder to climb, and that applies to academia, one step at a time, it is unlikely to exist in the modern global academy. And this is a fact because, as I said, you start with your PhD, you want to be a lecturer, senior lecturer, then associate professor, reader, and then professor. I've seen many of my colleagues jumping from senior lecturer into professorship, and I've seen some of them being promoted to professors without having a PhD, so professor of practice. So as I said, there is uh, no roadmap, no very clear or very easy roadmap for this. But anyway, it does exist. So within a university setting, job titles, roles, and responsibilities vary sufficiently to make any simple map or chart next to impossible to achieve. But all start from your research profile. So if you want to enhance your career, you need to focus. The first thing you need to think of is your research profile, and that's the selling point. So what is your research profile? What about it? Your research profile needs to address you, what skills you have, what attributes, motivations, and values. Also, the focus of your research profile needs to be on research you are doing in terms of what you look at, research interest. As Dr. Ahmed said, I myself, I did research in a number of aspects, energy and accounting. I focused mainly on accounting for extractive industries and particularly the oil and gas industry. So I think I am known for that area. How you look at it, methodological approach and techniques, are you qualitative or quantitative researcher? And then why you look at it and what the potential impacts are. So these are some of the things you need to think of when building up your profile. So a good research profile is a reflection of successful research strategy. And that's what you need to think of as an early stage of your career. Right, planning your research strategy. You need to define a long-term career success goal. So as an early career researcher, you need to know, okay, fine, where you want to be in 5 years' time. Do you want to be involved more with the media? Do you want to give more attention and spend more time on blogs, for example, or do you want to focus on publishing in well-known academic journals? Do you want to be involved with reputable media, or do you want to persuade your career into management? So in order to think of the long term, you need to break it up into medium-term goals that might advance your progress towards the long-term career success goals. For example, influencing institutional policy regarding research priorities. Think of how can you make input into your institution's career, research policy and the strategy as well. How can you enhance it? How can you influence it? Break your goals into short-term actions. Become a member of specific committee, for example. find out about different types of membership options, associate voting, etc. So that all of this will enhance your CV and will allow you to plan the career ladder. Remember, your long-term goals and interim targets must be identifiable and measurable. How to identify them and measure them? That something can be done by, for example, the number of papers you published, number of rated papers you published, how many research funding you managed to obtain, etc. Then prioritize short-term actions. We know as lecturers, as academic, we have a lot of things to do. Teaching, marking, assessment, research, consultancy, etc. So with the shortage of time, and the time is a scarce resource for us as academics, we need to prioritize our short-term actions. We need to think of what are the most important tasks for us to focus on. So writing papers or writing funding bids, or both of them, blending two together. Focusing on supervising doctorate students or being involved in research management. We know management takes a lot of time, but it's rewarding. To me, it's rewarding on the short to medium term because nothing stable in management. But your research papers will always be there to support you. Think ahead to the next step and actions that you will take, maximize networking opportunities. And that's a key for your success as an academic. Networking is always the key for your success. So that's something you need to start working on. And I do have some slides on how to build networks. It's very important to build, sustain, and enhance your network for some very key reasons. Some of them will be when you apply for a promotion, you need references. So if in some universities, for example, to apply for a professorship, you need 6 references from professors around you locally and internationally. So if you don't have that network, then your application for professorship will fall short. So this is something, a simple thing to build, and that's needed down the line. Review your progress time on time. So just look back and see how much you've done, what was your plan, what have you done to meet your plan, and what you can do to enhance actually your progress. Who can help you in developing your research career? You can't do it yourself. And don't take this for granted as your papers, for example, or your funding applications will promote you. You need support from many people. So your career can only be developed with the involvement of other people. Mentors, senior colleagues, head of department, associate deans, etc. Even family members as well. First step to identify the types of people who might be in a position to help you, and then to contribute to the advancement of your research career. So that's, again, that's the network. Now, building a network, as I said, the key for our success as academics and researchers is a good, successful network, healthy network. There are a number of people around us. We need to identify them and see how they can help us in advancing our research career. So, coaches, who are the coaches? This is a well-placed internal contact, someone around you. I'm sure you know them. But if I give you the definition, you will start to think, who are my coach or coaches? They are people close to you. They care about you. They are there to support you. It could be one of your colleagues in your department. It could be a colleague in another department. So they are there to mentor you and help you. But remember, the relationship between you and them should be mutually beneficial for both. So if they read your paper or your funding application, you would expect them to come to you and say, can you give me advice on my draft paper or funding application? So those people are called coaches. So can you think of who's your coach or coaches in your environment, in your institution? It's someone there who cares about you, who will be pleased with your success and who will be helping you to be successful. Contributors, those people are active. They help you when you need them, but you don't have authority over them. You don't have control. So it could be many people around you, peers, colleagues, etc. They have their own life, their own pressure, their own agendas, but they are there to help you. It could be like a professor in your department or a professor in different department, or it could be a professor in different universities who are there to help you. They contribute to the enhancement of your career. So think of who is your contributor or contributors. Gatekeepers, this is something very important for us as academics. We think sometimes we think the world is work perfectly, and we get frustrated by something broken here or there or something not working. So we start to complain. As academics, we do complain a lot. So now, who are the gatekeepers? The gatekeepers usually are admin staff. They are around us. They are there. Their salaries compared to our salaries is not huge. They work with appreciation. So you appreciate them. You smile to them sometimes. You know, send them emails saying you've been helpful. I appreciate your help. So they help you. But if you don't, they block you. So if you want to apply for something, if they say no, that's it. They're not there to help you. So you need to keep them happy. Uh, you need to maintain a good, healthy relationship, professional relationship with them, to be able to, to seek their help, support, and advices sometimes, and to benefit from this. Influencers often hang around in the background, easily overlooked. Those people have little formal power, like research professors. They could be in your department or in other departments. So attending their sessions, presentations, seeking their advices, will help you a lot. So keep connected to them. And remember, if you need references, you can go back to those people and they can help you, either provide you with a reference or guide you to whoever can give you a reference, for example. Or they can give you sometimes feedback on your written work or advise you on what to do especially if you face some problems. Now, with fathers, those are the people with influence, with power. They are around you. They care about your success. Sometimes they can be tough, but they want you to be successful, especially when you're head of department, because your success adds to their success. You're dean, associate dean for research, etc. So again, it's very important for us as academics to build healthy professional relationship with those people. So all of those people will have a stake in your success, and they care about uh, your prosperity as an academic. Now, I talked about network, how to build a network. We go to conferences to present our work and get to know other colleagues who's doing what and who's doing something similar to us, who we can build professional relationship with. So use conferences as a platform for building your network. I know sometimes we are academics, we go here and there, we enjoy going to Italy, France, etc., to see new cities and benefit from a conference. But the key benefit for you is to establish, sustain, expand your network. Teaching, when you teach with a new group of colleagues, when if you are invited as external speaker, guest lectures, etc. So that allows you to build network as well. If I will advise every colleague, if you are invited as an external examiner for a PhD student, for a program, for etc., if you have the capacity, never uh, refuse or reject the invitation. It's always beneficial for you to be involved with people from other institutions. Course review, for example, you'll be invited time and time to review courses from here and there or from different countries that allow you to network with colleagues, and also it gives you experience on how to, for example, design and build a course for your own institution. Professional social media, LinkedIn, ResearchGate, Google Scholar. This is how you meet people. I myself, I use LinkedIn a lot, and it helps me in my research. I connect with people if if I want to interview people, if I want to get to know other people who I can interview, who can support, etc. So LinkedIn to me is great. ResearchGate is very good. Google Scholar, it allows to know what's going on in the research field. So a key point in any networking relationship is mutuality. So people may be willing to help you, but they expect your help when they need you. So if somebody invited you to examine their PhD student, they would expect you to invite them to examine your own PhD students. So that's how it works. We examine students. It's not for the sake of money because we don't get that much money, but it's mainly to expand our network and also it's a service. So I examine your student, you examine my student in the future, job done, that's it. So the right pathway starts with the clear goals. What are your goals? What you want to do? Why you want to do it? How do you want to do it? And what obstacles you may face. Your goals and motivations. The lack of easy road mapping in academia makes it all the more important to do two things. Define your own career success goals and identify signifiers on the way to achieving these goals. So, okay, you are an associate lecturer now, you're still a PhD student. Where do you want to be in 5 years? Do you just want to be a lecturer or a teacher, or do you want to move up the career ladder? How many papers do you want to publish? Which journals? How many research funding do you want to apply for? You want to appear in media? You want to be involved in a committee? So these are your goals, and you can start planning as early as possible. So as a researcher, your development milestones and long-term career objectives could be making a difference, leading the field, passing on knowledge and guiding others, and having an influence. And believe me, all of these will add to your CV. So that will help you in promotion. If you decide to change institution, that will back you up. And also, it's for the sake of your own profile. So your development milestones and long-term career objectives. So making a difference. How can you make a difference as an academic, as a researcher? Contributing to public discourse, patent, intellectual property, inventions, commercialization, influencing government policy. Everyone and any one of us can do some of these.
Professor,
So, yes,
sorry, may you put your mic a little bit away from you?
sure.
Yes,
Sorry.
thank you.
Right. Leading the field, having a publication record, the ability to pull in significant amount of prestigious research funding, attracting research students to work under your supervision, and that's very important for you to get your own students who will be your followers in future, and they can be your co-authors. They can write funding with you, research funding bids with you. So they are your team. I call my research students as my family. So you expand your professional family when you attract research students. What else? Passing on knowledge and guiding others. This is something very important for us as academics. So it's not healthy to keep your knowledge and experience to yourself. Try to benefit others. Uh, you start with your students, doctorate or master students, uh, helping your colleagues, junior colleagues or early career researchers if you can, or even your peers, reviewing for journals. That's something, it's a must for us. As far as we want to think of a research career, so reviewing for journals is key because it helps you to see what others are doing, how they do it, and improve your writing skills. And as I said, supporting and mentoring junior colleagues, that's for managerial and other purposes. Now, having an influencing the research policy of your institution and the practice across the field influence practice and career enhancement of other colleagues. And by this way, you are making influence on others and on institutions as well. So, where to start from? That's something. Let's say something about strategic development. In order to develop a strategy to advance your research career, you need to consider which areas of your professional portfolio you need to develop. So as I said, we are academics, we teach, we research, we do management as well, and we do some other stuff. So if you feel short on research publications, that's an area for you to think of. And then you think, okay, fine, where I'm going to write, where I'm going to publish. Is it 3, 4 stars, or is it any other type of output? Am I short on research funding bids? So that's something you need to keep eye on. So to start on, to stand out from the crowd, ask yourself, what are my areas of research expertise? Now, it's very easy for our colleagues who are early career researchers. If you say for them, for example, I'm an accountant. If you say to them, what's your research expertise? You'll have one of two answers. They will either give you the title of their PhD thesis, or they will say, I can do management accounting, cost accounting, financial accounting, environmental accounting, social accounting, etc. So they know everything. And that's completely wrong. So you need to think, okay, fine, what I am known for and what I want to be known for. So that's your research expertise. So try to be comprehensive. Your current specialism will form the core of your expertise, but you should also think about areas you specialized in the past, where your knowledge could easily be brought up to date. So, if, for example, if you worked for a bank for a number of years, then you did your PhD on environmental accounting, so you're a specialist in environmental accounting. But it does not mean you are not specialist on banking or finance, because you did that in the past. So you can bring it up and use a combination of research, interest, and focus. So this should cover your knowledge, skills, research method, methodologies, and the practical technique. Then, what direct evidence do I have for my research expertise? That's a question you will be asked for when you apply for promotion, especially if it's internal promotion. What evidence do you have? So the obvious evidence is your publications. Where are they rated? Any form of publication, books, chapter books, blogs, as I said, rated and unrated articles. So that's the first thing to think of. Then citations, and that's how your research is making impact. The H index, if you go to Google Scholar, check your H index time on time, try to improve it, and then that's one of the measures you can use as well. Then the grants you applied for, the grants you be awarded, fellowships, patent, any other forms of impact, possibly developing teaching modules or training programs for your university or for other universities. Being involved in evaluating courses for other institutions, for example. So all of these are evidence of your research expertise, research and teaching, or I put it as academic expertise. Is there a wider evidence of my expertise? This might include other post fields. So as I said, working for a bank, for example, being a manager here or there, lecturer, associate lecturer, involvement in collaborative partnership, invitations to workshops, seminars, and especially keynote in conferences or webinars, anything. Because that will evidence your research, and that will evidence your profile and will support your CV as well. Now, building this into your research strategy, making yourself stand out of the crowd as a research leader will require you to focus on the depth and breadth of the activities and roles you have already undertaken and those that you could potentially undertake. How? Publication is the key. To develop research career, the publication is your first thing that you have to think of. Then research funding. Foundation of your research career is publication, and the aim is to construct a profile based on your needs. So I remember the first paper I've published. I thought I was, at that time, I thought I should have been promoted to professorship straight away because I published a paper. But then when I look back and I think, okay, that's what I've done. This is how I'm moving forward. And this is what my colleagues done. So I start to think strategically of my research career. So if you think you want to be a researcher and a successful academic, as I said before, you have to have goals, break them up into short, medium, and long term, and keep reviewing them to see if there are holes in your profile. Right. A lesson to learn. Sitting on a grant review panel is one of the best ways to improve your own grant writing. So when you see others uh, when you see research beds written by others and you sit in the driver's seat or in the evaluator seat to evaluate these applications, you will be able to have different view at your own application. Then being involved in peer reviewing for journal articles, that will allow you to criticize others' writing, and that will give you experience and skills to when you write your own. So you will, when you write your own papers, if you are in the draft stage, you will be able to think how reviewers will look at your paper and where they will criticize you, especially for funders, offers great insight into future trends and priorities. So that's applied for viewing articles. So this is what an advice I give to my PhD students, to every PhD student, to any career researchers. If there is an invitation to review for article, even if it's an article not within your research interest, don't reject it. Read it. You will learn something from it. You will learn something. You will enhance your language skills, writing skills, and methodology. You will see what's going on here and there, and also at the same time, it will allow you to develop your critical thinking, and it will allow you to criticize your own work before submitting it. So that means it will help you to avoid just rejection at least. Then the way ahead. You need always to think, and that applies to PhD students, lecturers, senior lecturer, professors, everyone else. So what would you like to be known for or have achieved in 5 to 10 years? So make that goal. Don't wait for the fate to give you an opportunity. Search for the opportunity. You can plan where you want to be in a number of years. What do you need to do now to be there in 5 to 10 years? You want to write more papers, you want to apply for more funding, you want to do research management, you want to do something else, you want to be involved with the media, so you need to think, and then that can be planned. I agree, management, if you don't work for it, it works for you. But if you put yourself forward for some managerial positions, you will be known in your institutions, at least, to be interested in management. So you need to be a successful manager to be promoted to associate professor or professor or whatever, even if you want to be in the future. And I'm sure my senior colleagues who are listening to me now, they will support me and they will agree with me. A final word. Ground your thinking within your current context. Think of yourself, your environment, your sphere. That's your research. What do you want to be? What do you want to do? Do you want, if you are in management, in somebody in accounting or marketing approached you and said, I want you to be involved in my paper. I want you to be a co-author. Do you want to be involved in their paper? Think you are in management. So, or human resources management. Do you want to cross the line into marketing or accounting or finance or engineering, for example? Or do you want to focus on your area? Demonstrate the importance of developing breadth and depth in your experience and expertise. That's your key factor. So if you are known for example, institutional finance, if you want to be known, for example, for human resources management in small and medium enterprises or in developing or developed countries, if you want to be known for certain things, work in that direction. Don't waste too much of your time, effort, and energy on other stuff. It's always good to expand, but the key is to focus on something. So you want to be known for the thing you do, for one thing. And we always hear about, scholars being well known for one area. And that's what you want to do. Show how you can promote your research and yourself as a researcher. That's your profile. Now, as I said, use social media as much as you can. So promote yourself, but don't over promote yourself. So it's not a marketing, it's promoting yourself to be seen by the right people. Collaborative work is essential for your success. And that's the final word I would say. Collaborative work is essential for our success. I always thought writing a paper by myself would give me more credit. I was absolutely wrong because when I write with other colleagues, I learn from them, the effort will be less, and then the quality will be much better. So collaborative work is essential for success. So when you write with other colleagues, you most collect the same credits. So, and that's based on networking, the right healthy networking. Thank you very much for listening. I hope this was useful to everyone. So for now, if you have any questions, please uh, let me hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Hafez. You remember actually me yesterday, one of universities, they offer me an offer and they ask me two questions. The first one, Ahmed, you just finished your PhD in April. How you have this network? And the second question, Ahmed, you finish your PhD in April and you publish 10 paper. How you publish this 10 paper? And how you club, we are also been a PhD student and we work hard, but we didn't publish that much. So the answer for this question, as you said to Professor Hafez, the paper, this is what I told him. The research paper, I didn't submit it today and it's published yesterday. I submitted before 1 year ago. This is 1 year or more. And also I didn't work alone. It's a collaborate with others. But how I collaborate with others and how I have this network from conferences, workshop, and also the social media as you said. So thank you so much. It's really a good advice, and I can take myself as an example. And let's take a question just for let's say 15 minutes because the time limit. If anyone have a question, please raise hand. Marwa.
Marwa, your mic is muted.
Yeah. Anil?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good
I am
evening.
Anil Pandey from Mumbai. I'm a student in earnings management. I'm doing some work in classification shifting. So you can tell me whether what to do and how can I get published in that classification shifting. I also work in accounting area.
Thank you, Anil. Can I just kind of ask you how long you've been an academic?
Fourth year. I'm in my fourth year of PhD.
Okay. You are a fourth year PhD student.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
yeah, to start with, it's your supervisors. So you can get published easily by working with your supervisors. That's your first goal. And my advice to you is try to think of some papers out of your thesis. It's always good to publish before you take your wider voice. So again, seek advice from your supervisors. Now, that's not it's not a must because I have a PhD student who is still there. He's in his second year now, and he published 2 or 3 papers in 3 stars, and he's doing it by his own. So it's not related to his PhD thesis, and he's doing really well. So you can't do the same if you have time and capacity, energy, etc. But my advice is start with your PhD thesis, which you are writing now, and seek advice from your supervisor.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anil. Thank you so much. Marwa, are you here with us? Marwa? Zubair?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Alaikum salam, Zubair.
Doctor, thank you for your speech. I want to ask that I have background of entrepreneurship before starting of research and job in Islamic banking. So, is there any chances of research career as an entrepreneur rather than only employee of a university or something employment?
So your question is, you had a career as entrepreneurship, in entrepreneurship, and
Yeah.
yeah, and you want to know if there is a way to develop your career in academia, you mean?
No, I want
Outside.
to ask that other than employment, is there entrepreneurship opportunity in career research?
Yeah, definitely yes, because that's part of management, and our colleagues do a lot of research on entrepreneurship. So that's a really, active research field. So for sure, yes.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Zertaj?
Assalamu alaikum. Thank
Walaikum
you,
salam.
Professor Abdo and Dr. Ahmad, and congratulations for your papers. And sir, I have one question. I have done PhD from India, but it took some more time in my research. So now many things, many research methods have been changed. Now, whichever methods I have done in my thesis, now everything has been changed, and the publishing time for one Scopus or any SSCI papers, it is taking too much time. When we start our paper, then the others will be publishing. So how can we solve this problem? Suppose
Thank
we
you. Thank you.
start a
Okay.
paper and then it will publish, it will take time.
Yeah, I fully understand your question. We've been in that position before, and the way forward is focus on what you are doing. The minute you get to know some other people's research or scholars, so all you need to do is try to benefit from them, try to improve your own work, and then approach journals, submit. Make sure you don't submit to more than one journal at a time. So I know research continue, it never stops. So the risk is always there by, writing a paper and then suddenly you go to a conference and you find someone else is doing something very similar to you. So all you need to do is you differentiate yourself from them. And that's it. So research is always developed by different collaborative and sometimes competing work, if you like.
Thank you very much, Professor
Thank you.
and Dr. Ahmad, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Ahmed?
Hi.
Hi.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum.
Hi, Dr. Hafez. Thanks to this submissions. I am Ahmed Ibrahim Ahmed from Iraq. I am a PhD student at Turkey in geological engineering. I'm the final research in the final year of the PhD. My supervisor was selected to me all the subject for this PhD thesis, and now as a graduation for graduation requirements, they want from me to publish as an science citation index in journals. But I'm a hard worker and very active to collaborate with conference and workshop and webinars. But I'm not shy. I'm not. I'm doesn't published and because SCI, it's, as you know, it needs to a lot of expertise, and my supervisor is not ready to help me in this subject. Thanks in advance.
Thank you. I fully understand you, Ahmed. Now, the thing is, your supervisor is to you. Your supervisor is your grandfather, the one who wants you to success. Okay? He wants to see you successful. So he's pushing you to write a paper. It's because it will benefit you, definitely. So you don't expect the supervisor to write the literature review to you for you. You don't expect the supervisor to say, okay, this is how I want you to structure the paper. It's your duty to go write something, even if it's 2-3 pages, and go and see them and say, what do you think about this? How we can develop it? So they will give you feedback. Your supervisor at this stage will never be your co-author. He will be still your supervisor. So it's your duty. I know it's difficult because it's first time experience for you, but you need to be brave and go for it. And I'm 100% sure you can do it because we did it. Okay, and we are not better than you in anything. It's only the age.
Yeah, I know. I'm published two or three papers in the past, but they didn't in SCI Science Citation Index journals. Yes. So now I'm looking for publishing a new papers. Thanks.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you, Ahmed, and
thanks, Dr. Al-Qatta.
Thank you. Sermed, last one. Please unmute your mic, please.
Professor, good evening. I am Sarmat from GDU University, Pescara, Italy. And I would like to ask you one question. My question is, what are the basic qualities you see in PhD graduates during the recruitment process? Rather than just considering how many publications and how many papers the student has published in top ranked journals. So what are the other qualities you see while recruiting, PhD graduates?
Okay, thank you very much, Sarmat. This is a key important question. Now, this depends on the university, on the country, and this is different from one country to the other. I will give you some examples. So, if when we have a job, for example, in a university, there will be 50, 60, 70, sometimes more than 100 applications. Okay, so we will always look for the best. Now, the qualities we want to see, obviously, if it's a PhD graduate, okay, that's what we want. We want someone in accounting, for example. We start to filter the applications. And we want someone in management accounting. We filter them. The number is reduced. And then we move on to see publications, who published more, who published in higher rated journals. And we want to see if there is, for example, professional qualifications associated with the academic qualifications, the PhD. And also we look for experience. So some people taught while they were doing PhD, some people did not. So you always, as an employer, you always look for the best. So these are the things. And this is what I said, networking allows you to publish, try to push yourself to committees, try to be involved here and there. That will enhance your CV. So if you have the opportunity to teach, even if it's for free, do it, because that will give you experience and that will stick on your CV like a big line. If you can be a member of professional organization, go for it. Don't reject it. So these are the things. But again, it depends on the institution, on the requirement, on the culture, etc.
All right, thank you. So you mean to say does a professional experience have also an impact on your chances of selection? I mean, academic. If you have academic experience, it would be much better. But if you have, let's say, in my case, I have more than 3 years of professional experience. I don't have academic experience so far. But now I am a first year PhD student. So, but I have professional experience in my field in corporate taxation and financial management. So, does it matter?
It does. It does. Obviously, your professional experience is there to back you up. But being a PhD student now, try the whole in your profile is the teaching. So try to do some teaching, even if it's 1 hour a week or a few hours a year. So even if it's for free. So try to approach your supervisor, ask them to help you to get some teaching hours, and that will enhance your CV. So when you graduate, when you finish your PhD, your profile will be completed. So it will stand for you.
Okay, thank you. Can I ask one more question, please?
Sure, yes, go on.
Yes, thank you. Professor, while submitting your article or research paper in any top-ranked journal, so what do you think? What should be the content of the covering letter? I mean, does it have any impact on your chances of publication? The role of covering letter.
The cover letter initially it saves you from test rejection. So the cover letter it will be read by the associate editor or the editor of the journal. So in the cover letter, it's your opportunity to tell the editor or the associate editor of the journal why why your research is important, why it is linked and full in the journal scope. So search the journal you are submitting to and see if there has been some similar studies being published by that journal. So you advance the debate on that topic. So editors like to see this, and this will save you from disk rejection. Usually, the reviewers will not read that cover letter, but it is important. It's your opportunity to back up your submission.
All right, very helpful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Sermed. Because of the time limit, we will stop the Q&A question. But if you have any question, please just send to Professor Hafez an email, drop him an email, and I think he will happy to answer your question. Thank you so much, Professor Hafez, for today webinar and presentation, suggestion, and those information that it's little advice, but trust me, all this is small thing, it will make a big thing in the future. So maybe attend a conference, maybe attend a workshop, you will say, and this time, because it's tough with doing your PhD, I can't do it. Try to do it because it will affect your future. You will have a good network. It will help also your PhD. Maybe some question you can't handle it, or someone professional in this area can help you. Thank you so much, Professor Hafez. If you want to say any last word.
Yeah, thank you to you for organizing this webinar. It's very useful for everyone. So it's definitely a big plus, and you deserve really big thank. Thank you for everyone else who registered to attend, and thank you all. So please stay safe, and hopefully we'll meet sometimes in a conference or somewhere in Nottingham here in the UK. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor. And next week webinar will be about how do you define a PhD Viva by Dr. Lulwa El Ben Hussein. Also, I want to announce a conference. This conference, it's about all it's about in accounting. in Kuwait, and the title of it is International Conference in Contemporary Issues in Accounting, CIA 2020. This conference organized by me, Dr. Ahmed Al-Kattan, and sponsored by the Kuwaiti government, which is Youth Public Authority and Kuwait Accountants and Editors Association. The scientific committee, Professor Asid Jafar, Professor Anis Jarboui, and me also, Professor Badr Al-Shimmari and Professor Mustafa Kamel. Also, there will be a keynote speaker, Dr. Ahmed Al-Amir, Dr. Karen McBride, and Dr. Khaldoon Al-Bitar. The conference will, there will be many presentations. We'll talk about different topics like corporate governance, CSR, banking, IT, big data, corporate narrative reporting, and so many topics. The paper for the paper submission, actually it's we stopped receiving any papers, but the conference deadline, the conference date will be in 26th of September. It's a free conference and it's online. I encourage everyone to attend this conference. I will put the link in the chat, so if anyone want to join us, please go ahead and register. Also, there is some of you ask about the certificate. This webinar want to provide any certificate. For who's want to ask Professor Hafez and the time, I know the time limit, and there's many questions in the Q&A and also in the chat. Also the people who raise their hand, but you know the time limit and the professor have something to do. So if please, if you want, just drop him an email, and this is his email, and he will be happy to answer your question. Also, there is a survey after ending this webinar. There will be a small survey. It will be, maybe it will take 30 seconds. So please do it. Again, this is the link for the international conference CIA 2020. I encourage everyone to attend it. There will be a big names in this conference, and it's free. Also, there will be a certificate for anyone will attend this conference. It will be in 26th of September. For who is asking about if how we can follow ITAR and how we can know what is the next webinars, workshop, and conferences, please you can add also all these accounts in all the social media. These account for ITAR, and you can know what is the next webinar, conferences, and anything related to research or training, teaching training. Most welcome. I will be here just maybe 40 or 1 minute, just if anyone want to press to the link and register. And then after that, I will end this session. Please don't forget to fill the survey after ending this webinar. Thank you so much.